Hey guys, welcome back to another Why You Should Play video. Today we're going to be going over Soul Calibur 3. And I'm just going to go over a quick synopsis of what Soul Calibur 3 is about and why you should play it. Without further ado, let's just kind of hop into the modes of Soul Calibur 3. So Soul Calibur 3 has a lot of good modes. It has basically like the Tales of Souls. And what that does is it basically does what arcade mode does, but just adds a little story to every character. So let's say you pick Siegfried, and it gives you a little synopsis of what Siegfried is doing during this time. Because Soul Calibur 3 is taking place directly after the events of Soul Calibur 2. So it's new players, everyone just finished their journey from Soul Calibur 2, or is still on their journey from Soul Calibur 2. And it gives you just basically like a little RPG aspect. You get to pick where to go. Every time you finish a stage, there's like a prompt that comes up that says, oh, Siegfried is feeling watched, and sometimes that might lead to a lockable character, a lockable side character, a lockable custom character, or just unlockable armor pieces and weapons and things of that nature. So it's always good to just kind of replay it and enjoy what the game has to offer in that regard. There is a regular arcade mode. It's called Quick Play. That's just basically what it is. You just go on and keep playing. And then you also have my favorite, the Chronicles of Souls. The Chronicles of Souls, I'm going to go over it in depth because I believe it deserves its own like area of the game, or area of the video, I should say. And basically just, you're playing like a role-playing game, if that makes sense. So you're trying to take over someone's base with the characters that you create. We're going to go over created characters or created souls a little later in the video. But it's definitely really cool to see like what they did with the Chronicles of Souls. The Chronicles of Souls is very fun. I would say like the first playthrough. It does get a little boring and a little dull after its first playthrough. Because once you kind of know what's going to happen, you kind of, expect it. So you're not really excited about it the next chapter onwards. Just a quick little history on that. It's just going over a what-if scenario, like what if this faction was fighting this faction. Fun fact, actually one of the factions that are in this storyline is the one from Heidel? However you say her name, I don't know how to say her name correctly, but her factions are actually one of the games in the game. So actually, her people didn't make a jump start into Soul Calibur, not from Soul Calibur 4, but from Soul Calibur 3. It shows you that the developers were actually thinking ahead of time before making certain characters and things of that nature. So, it's fun to go check out the different modes and things of that nature because they actually introduce a lot of things into the story that help the story. There also is a arcade edition of Soul Calibur 3. I'm not going to talk about it too much in this video or at all because that deserves its own video because it's so different. But it's mainly different in the competitive areas. Not so much like the single player aspect of the game because Soul Calibur 3 PlayStation 2 is more for single player. This is like the rise of like we have fighting games at home. Some people couldn't go to the arcade during this time, so fighting games on the consoles were starting to become even more popular than they already were. So without further ado, let's just hop into why Chronicles of Souls is actually really fun. So we've talked about like the other parts of Soul Calibur, but I think this of Soul Calibur 3 is kind of an interesting mode. I don't remember really any Soul Calibur game doing this up to this moment, or if they do, it's kind of like simplistic, where this is like a chess by chess match game where you're still playing Soul Calibur for sure, but at the same time you're also taking spots on the stage, you're taking territory, you're recruiting characters, sometimes on certain maps. I'm not going to ruin it because I kind of want everyone to, play this for themselves. But you end up playing some of the original cast. Now, this Chronicle of the Souls, if I didn't mention the name, I should mention it now, but this is called Chronicles of the Soul. So this is basically kind of like an alternate universe where like 3 factions are warring and you can choose a faction, I believe. I don't remember offhand, but you can choose a faction, join that faction, and you're basically kind of just at war. So just to kind of go over briefly what each like thing that this mode has to offer. So in this new called Create a Soul. Create a Soul is kind of cool. This was the first time you ever got to create an actual character for Soul Calibur. this was the first time in its history that allowed you to do that. So you got to play with the different characters that you create, and you get to balance them out with the different classes that are used. So you have many different classes, which will have an entire section dedicated to the classes of the game. But you get to pick whatever class you create. You can import a Create a Soul that you have already made, or make one specifically for Chronicles of Souls. So to give a quick rundown, you have your Create a Soul. You have like your major base where every character starts from. And then you have like kind of these mini bases on the way. And these mini bases allow you to make something, or like take territory. I shouldn't say make anything, but you make territory. And each part of the territory you take can be destroyed or upgraded. So you can destroy the enemy's base, but also to upgrade it to where your units can respond specifically from that base. It also gives them health back when your units, or the enemy units, are in the barracks, I should call it, not base, but barracks. It gives you an advantage, so it allows your character, because there's many different characters you can recruit. So think of it like kind of like Fire Emblem, if you ever played Fire Emblem. It's very kind of akin to that, but you know, with the twist of Soul Calibur 3 added onto it. So you have this, every chapter in the game also starts with kind of like a prologue leading up to this. What you're seeing on screen is basically just one chapter. I believe it's chapter 6. So it's just one chapter kind of talking about like what your character's doing and how it's involved in dealing with the different factions of the game. So you have different terrains, different maps, different things that cause certain things. So you'll have like a windy terrain, so whenever you go into a match, a lot of the wind will be blowing your character around, or the enemy character around. You have the leveling system as well. Your character and the enemy characters have levels, which you can level up by winning and or losing. You still level up if you lose, but you don't get as much experience as if you were to win. It keeps track of your win-loss with that character, what character does the most, their percentages, their health, what type of class they are, and like a little chart to show like which side of their character they're leaning to. So each character can be used in plenty of different ways. You have access to a lot of things. You can buy new weapons, buy new armor pieces. You can make your character really strong, really weak, good at grappling, good at not grappling, you know, depending on what kind of character you're using. So Create a Souls is a fun, interesting take on like adding a story to the story mode. Like a nice side entry. I forget exactly how long it is, but it is pretty long. And if you're into the story of Soul Calibur, it's a really like teeth clincher. You really like, it's a really good story. I think for a little side story of an alternate universe, a what if story, this kind of does it well. And this was the first, and I believe last time, that the Soul Calibur series has ever done something like this. You can see kind of how it influenced later a lot of things, but Chronicles of Souls was very, very interesting. So let's hop straight into the next part of Soul Calibur 3. So now that we finished talking about Chronicles, we're kind of just going to go straight into like the side content and just kind of rush through that. So they have like a tournament kind of mode. It's not really like your end all be all for like tournament play, but it's just kind of like a little side mode where you get to like fight the various people in save files that you have. It's a like literal just side mode. You could just pin them up against computers and just kind of watch it go. Then you have Soul Arena, which contains like, I think, quick play, and it has the like little mini games that you can do. So like throughout Tales of the Souls, you can fight like this behemoth, like giant thing. You can fight what'd you call it? If you do all of them and you unlock, I forget exactly how to unlock it, but there's a way to unlock a special fight. I'm not gonna ruin that because it's a really good fight, and I might do a video on that, so be prepared for that soon. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else. There's just kind of like quick side content with like little missions and stuff to do, and you know, quick play. Then we have practice mode, and I believe practice mode is like one of the funnest practice mode in fighting game kind of like history. It kind of just breaks down the mechanics of the game for you. So it teaches you just basic stuff. You don't really have to like worry about like, oh, I don't know how to do this, because it gives like an in-depth reason on why to use it. I think a lot of fighting games should do this. Not treating like the players who are new as if like they don't know anything, or the old players like they're dumb, but it gives you just a reason to kind of like relearn everything. It's really good. I enjoyed it. And they give you like a special weapon for every character you completed with. I completed with every character because I have no life and I love this game. So I was like, F it, we're going to complete it. So I completed it. It was really fun. It gets kind of monotonous after a while. I think like after like the third character, I kind of got like incredibly bored, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. And that's kind of it for the side content. He has a regular practice mode, then it has like a practice mode for like punishing and stuff like that. So it's like pretty bare bones when it comes to that. Then you have the character creation mode, which I think is the most fun character creation I've ever had. Just because it's different. You get to choose out of 7 characters, or I should say classes, and you get to customize them. And the little bar at the bottom, I'll put on screen exactly what it means, but it's like a positive and negative to like to balance out your character. I don't know if it actually affects stats or not. I've never actually looked into it, so I'll put on the screen if it does and like kind of what the bars at the bottom do. But as you like customize your character, like it become really evil or really good or kind of neutral. So that I do know, but I don't exactly know how does it like affect your character. And then also too, you get to change the colors of your mainline characters of the game, so they allow you to change like Taki's. As you kind of see during the gameplay throughout the video, you saw like Siegfried and Nightmare have like different colors, so you could play around with like the main cast colors. You don't have to create a character. It's really fun. As I talked about in the Chronicles of the Souls part, like you get to actually customize a character specifically for just like regular gameplay, or for both regular gameplay and the Chronicles mode. So it's really fun. I say dig your teeth into the game. It's really interesting. It doesn't get talked about as much as like Soul Calibur 2, Soul Calibur 4, Soul Calibur 6 or 5, like, because it's not controversial. There is a arcade edition of Soul Calibur 3, and that's like the definitive way of playing it, but it's like really hard to get, and I advise just playing the regular PS2 version. If you have a PS2 laying around, or even just, you know, using emulation, I say it's a really fun game to just sit down and just even play for a little while. Just, you know, learn what made Soul Calibur good. Because after this is kind of when Soul Calibur started kind of taking 4 wasn't as bad, but 5 kind of really almost killed the series. I might do a video on that as well. But that's all. That's everything within Soul Calibur 6. Soul Calibur 3. I give it rated reviews, and I'm going to with it. I'm going to post more videos, some challenge videos coming up. So be on the lookout. I'm trying to do a lot on the channel. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to get you guys to do interesting videos.